Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let me tag a few people on Facebook before we get started this morning. 1 minute. I'm on time. Everybody, come on in. This is going to be short and sweet today. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. It seems like every morning I'm waking up like that. I've been up for a little bit, but I swear it takes me a while to get up in the morning. It takes me a little bit of time to get going. And then I get up and I'm reading all of these things. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of it, of the world right now. I'm so tired. It's craziness. Coronavirus numbers are increasing, and yet people are not doing the mask, not social distancing. And if you're not doing that, are you even washing your hands? I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't trust you. I don't trust any of this anymore. I don't understand why there's such a difficult time understanding that in order to keep the numbers low, in order to flatten the curve, in order to keep the curve flat, in order to keep everyone safe, we all have to do our part. What is so difficult about that? Get your cousins, man. Get them in order. Help them understand. And then we have in St. Louis the two attorneys brandishing weapons to peaceful protesters. Where were the police then? Where were the police coming and telling them, no, that is not legal? Where are the police putting them in their places? Good morning, Steve. How are you doing this morning, Steve? Ooh, this is hot today. This is a get your cousins day. This is a you need to get your cousins day. Good morning, Stace. You guys remember that we are on YouTube this morning as well. Please follow my YouTube channel. I am going to end up moving everything over to YouTube and hanging out in YouTube like a party every day. I don't want to be hanging out in Facebook land. People are being very careless with COVID. They are being so, I don't understand. And I'm so scared. I'm so scared to leave the house. Now, I leave the house, I go to the grocery store, I've got to go to Kaiser, I've got to get some blood work done. I'm going to do that. But I'm so worried about my safety, my children's child's safety, the one that's out here, and even the one that's in California. I'm worried about their safety. That I stay distanced from everybody. Don't come close to me. I'm not going to come close to you. Back up. I used to be so proud of living in California, my new from place, because I guess I lived in there longer than I lived in California longer than I lived anywhere else. And on most other notes, I would be so proud I was in California when all the world was going crazy. I was like, oh my God, I love that I'm here. From a political standpoint, I love that I'm here. Not right now. Not right now. I don't. California, get it together. Get it together. I'm reading on a couple of people in Sacramento. They're not keeping their masks. Bars, just everywhere around the lake. I read someone's post. Someone said around the lake, most of the people they saw didn't have masks on. Now, I will be honest. I don't wear a mask when I'm walking around in my neighborhood. There's nobody out. So I'm not protecting myself from anybody out in the free-flowing air with nobody around and me having a mask on. It's hot and humid out here. It's hard for me to breathe. Anyway, I'm not going to have a mask on when there's nobody around. However, if I take a route where I have to pass, there's a route that I take where I have to pass a bus station. I'm not a bus station, a bus stop. And I can see as I'm approaching whether there are people on that bus stop or at that bus stop. And if there are, I put my mask on before I even get within 10 feet of that bus stop. I put my mask on. And then when I get 10 feet past or a little more, I take my mask off. If I pass somebody, there were some kids riding on their bikes. I get up. I start walking past them. I see them on their bikes. I put my mask on. Good morning, Suli. Steve says, I know doctors who flat out say they won't. Oh, they won't know what they're doing. There is not a solution. Right. I was listening yesterday, and you know what? Normally I listen to This American Life. Suli, don't forget we are on YouTube today. Please follow on YouTube or watch on YouTube. Sign on to YouTube and watch. I was watching yesterday. I usually go to sleep to listening to This American Life, and there was a story from the front lines. A couple of nurses, a couple of doctors, and they're at a point, according to the doctors and nurses in this story, they're at a point where they have no idea how to cure people. They are basically, even if you get intubated, they're giving you whatever medicine they can, trying things. And they're just hoping that your body will eventually kick in and take over and heal itself. And hopefully these medicines will help some, because they don't have an exact cocktail to give you to cure you. They don't have an exact way to end the coronavirus in you. They don't know what to do. And there are people who are just wasting away on ventilators, not seeing any improvement, and slowly but surely fading away. And there was one nurse who, at the very beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, talked about, yes, this is what we trained for. It was a male nurse. This is what we trained for. So I'm okay. I leave work at work. And a month later, or a month and a half later, they interviewed the same nurse, and he's like, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know how to end this. And people are wasting away. The families want us to do everything we can, but we don't know what else to do. And at that point, they think it's this particular nurse and his counterparts were saying that they think it's cruel. It is cruel, and you're torturing your family, trying to hold on to somebody who is just slowly fading away. And he said, we know if we cut the tubes within a short order, these people would waste away. There's nothing for us to do. Steve says, I wear a mask and gloves when I leave the house, period. That makes sense, Steve. I do that. I don't wear gloves. I used to wear gloves. I don't wear gloves anymore. Just because if I have a gloved hand is passing the same germs that an ungloved hand is passing. So I don't wear gloves anymore. I used to. But I do carry my hand sanitizer with me, and I sanitize when I get in and out of my car. I sanitize if I have to touch too many things. I carry wipes with me at the grocery store, so I wipe down the cart, and I go to grocery stores where they're wiping down the carts before they hand them to you. So I do that, but I don't do the glove thing anymore, because what I found, and what they've been saying too, is that, I have gloves on. It's just like at my hands. I'm passing the same germs when I touch the door handle, when I touch the food at the grocery store, when I touch anything, I'm still passing the germs with the gloved hand. So unless I'm going to change my gloves multiple times, every time I touch something new, take those gloves off, put on a new set of gloves, then the glove is kind of useless. So I don't do the gloves anymore, but I do. And I'll put the gloves on if I'm going to the gas station. I'll put the gloves on, and then I still hand sanitize once I take the gloves off. I'll put the gloves on if I'm going to the bank to use the ATM machine. I'll put the gloves on, but otherwise I don't do the gloves. Good morning, Crystal. Suli says, because the virus is smart, connecting to your protein cells. So if you have an underlying condition, it amplifies it, plus the usual flu symptoms. So can't get a generic vaccine. Right. And the problem is, even though we know this, what are people doing? What are your cousins doing? We got too many cousins out there. This is a Get Your Cousins Day. We have too many cousins out there. I'm not claiming them as my family. I'm going to put them off on y'all. We got the white folks out there terrorizing terrorizing peaceful protesters in St. Louis, Missouri, in the Central West End, which is where I grew up, in the Central West End, brandishing firearms at peaceful protesters who are upset with the mayor who, was it the mayor? I believe it was the mayor who read out the names of protesters, read out the names of people who were complaining about, I forget what they were complaining about, but something major. Defunding the police. They wanted the police defunded. And she read out the names and, in some cases, addresses of the people who wanted the police defunded. What kind of crap is that? So you're just asking people to go and attack these people's homes. You're just giving that information. You know what the pulse of your city is. You know what it is. You know everybody's heightened. All of the tensions are heightened. And you have your crazies out there thinking that they are going to, oh, you want to defund police? Fine. We're going to come and attack you. And you give them the addresses. Crazy. State says they're getting more lax. Right. In California, they used to sanitize carts, but not anymore. You see, that's what I'm saying. I used to be happy I was from California, but no, man, not right now. And I'm not happy I'm from St. Louis either, because they're acting up in St. Louis. I don't know what to tell you, but what I do know what to tell you. Suli says Sonoma is very strict with masks and sanitizing carts in supermarkets. There are some areas, and I heard that Marin County is very strict as well. With what they're doing, and they want, if you show up at a store in Marin County without a mask, you can't come in. So that's good. And then you have people saying, I can't wear a mask. Then stay your ass at home. If you can't wear a mask, stay your ass at home. Jesus. You'll get arrested here if you refuse to wear a mask. No, there were officers, I think it was in Sacramento in Sonoma maybe, but in Sacramento, the sheriff, I think, said he wasn't going to enforce the statewide mandate. Get your cousins. Get your cousins. Get the sheriff. Why aren't you going to enforce something like that? Steve says, I hear your cousin say, I'm covered in the blood. He'll keep me safe. I say, God made dirt too. And he'll cover you with that too. You know what, Steve? When your cousins look, right? We sound like my kids when me and my siblings when they say, yeah, your mama said. No, your mama said. It's the same mama. It's the same cousins, but I'm gonna put them on you, Steve. You can have them. You can have them. They're part of your side of the family, not mine. You know the interesting thing. I was having a conversation with a couple of people about the whole pray about it. God will take care of me. I am not against anybody's religion. I am not against your faith in God. I am not against your faith in the power of prayer. I am not against that. As a matter of fact, if I'm having a tough time, I might call up my prayer warriors and say, hey, say a prayer. Get your prayer on for me right now. Cover me right now in your prayer because I'm about to go in and do this, right? So with that said, these people talk about just pray about it. These people talk about God got me. No, guess what? This is the thing. I get so irritated, right? Because when my kids were younger and one of them would act up, I would send the other one, go get your brother. Or just Christian, go get your sister. Go get your sister in line. Go get your brother in line. And then with the older two, go get your little brother. Help him understand what he's not doing right. So if I use that tactic in my own house, what do you think God is doing? What do you think God is doing when he sends you the CDC that says wear the mask? That's God covering your dumb self. And I'm not going to curse in the same sentence that I say God, because that's just blasphemous, right? That's God saying, hey, here is an intervention. So you have the tools and the knowledge to make the right decisions. I'm going to put Kai in your path to tell you to go out there and put your mask on. I'm going to put Steve right there that says, hey, put your mask on, get your gloves, get your hand sanitizer. That is God. That is God in the news talking about, look, people are dying. Wear your mask. People are dying. Wear your mask. That's God in the CDC saying, hey, here's all the information we have. We don't have all of it, but here's what we have. That's God saying, here is my message to you through someone else. I am protecting you by sending you someone else to tell you to wear the mask. while you sitting there waiting for a sign. How many signs I got to send you? How many people do I have to put in your path with the information you need to move forward the right way? Child of mine, I'm trying to protect you, but your dumb ass, you're not listening. You're not listening to the voices that I am sending you because you so busy waiting for somebody to come speaking in tongues that you don't understand. You understand Kai, you understand Steve, you understand Suli, you understand the news, not the Fox News, but the real news. You understand that. I'm sending it to you in the language that you absolutely understand. And you still can't get it through your head, but you want to get down on your hands and knees and pray to me, talking about, Lord, take care of me. I'm trying to take care of you. That's how I feel about people saying, I'm just going to pray about it because God is protecting me. No, God is up there like, dang, blasted this child of mine. Oh, Lord, this child of mine. Well, he's probably not saying, oh, Lord. He probably doesn't refer to himself in the third person. I don't know. He's all powerful. He might. Yes, Elaine, can't see the forest for the trees, man. Everybody is sitting around waiting for the sign, waiting for the Lord to protect you. And yet you got people banging on your door, calling your phone, getting on you in front of the TV, saying all the things you need to hear. But yet, there's this God out there who's keeping himself hidden from you and not helping you. Now, hopefully, the smart people on my feed, which would be everybody that's here now, but I don't know about the people who watch later. The smart people on my feed will understand I'm not knocking God, and I'm not knocking your faith. I'm knocking your understanding of your faith. That's what I'm knocking right now. I'm knocking your understanding of your faith and your Bible and the words that you profess on a regular basis. Faith without works. So you just go sit around and wait for things to come your way. You're not going to do anything about it. Yeah, I'm knocking that. That's what I'm knocking. I'm not knocking your faith in God. I'm not knocking your faith in the power of prayer. No, I believe in it. But when you pray about something and then somebody knocks on your door or calls you on the phone and say, hey, I got some masks for you. Don't say, well, no, because I prayed about it and God got me. Yes, you prayed about it. God got you. And somebody sent you some masks to wear. Oh my goodness. Steve says, God is simply saying, stay in the house for 1 year and become a better you. People have a hard time with self-discipline. Right, Steve. Look, God, listen. That reminds me of a joke or fable. A man was stranded on an island. I remember that. And the man was stranded on the island, but the man told the boat, the airplane, and the balloon, the Lord will protect me, right? And the man died and then asked God, why didn't you help me? Yes. And God was like, I sent you a boat. I sent you an airplane. I sent you a balloon. What more you want me to do? What more do you want me to do? Exactly. Oh, that's Stace. I'm sorry. I don't have my reading glasses on. Exactly, Stace. God is like, man, my child, what more you want me to do? So just like this is, good morning, Catrice. I see your tardy slip. Get your cousins. Get your cousins. We have coronavirus. We have police brutality. We have mosquitoes with the West Nile virus. There's something else. There's something else that's going on right now. Whatever it is, we had it all. I've got torrential rains out here keeping me in the house. We have all of this stuff going on. And yet we're not willing to just sit and become a better self. People say they heard from God when it's what they want to hear. Right. And any other time, they're just waiting for God. They're just waiting. And God has sent multiple messages. God has had you, somebody who maybe normally does not watch the news. Now you're watching the news and you see all of these death tolls rising in different cities. Elaine says, the story of the man who prayed to win the lottery, died and was upset. Gabriel said to him, You have to buy a ticket. You okay, right? You got what you gonna do? I can't do anything for you if you're not willing to do something for yourself. I can't do anything for you if when I give you the tools, I give you the knife at the table and you still picking your food apart with your fingers. I gave you the knife, talking about I can't get it. I gave you the knife. I gave you the table. I gave you everything you need to use, but you have to use it. You have to use the knowledge. You have to use the tools. Suli says some jugs don't believe that COVID exists. They say it's conspiracy. Okay, look, I can't look. You know what? I can't even speak a conspiracy. Yeah, but then people are dying of this conspiracy. So you know what? If it's a conspiracy or not, people are dying. So I'm gonna have my mask on, believing that it's a bioweapon, regardless. I mean, I'm not saying I believe, but if I believed it's a bioweapon, regardless, it exists. It's there. People are dying. Regardless, people are dying. There was another story that I heard yesterday, and I usually try to go to sleep to This American Life, but I couldn't sleep to it because it was so intense, the stories. And so there was a guy, a young man who was being cared. He had Down syndrome. He was being cared for by his sister. His mother had coronavirus, and he had coronavirus. He was being cared for by his sister. So the sister dropped him off at the hospital, and she couldn't go in with him. Well, he had Down syndrome, so it's very difficult to communicate with him. So eventually the nurses and doctors realized they needed to get the sister in touch with the child, it was a young man, in touch with the young man so that he could understand what was going on. I mean, they're coming in full PPE, and this kid is scared. I'm saying kid, but I think he was a young adult. He was scared and not comprehending what's going on. So they get the sister on FaceTime, and the sister is able to talk to him, help him understand what's going on, calm him down. And she was also able to let the doctors know what things normally help him. He likes this type of program on TV. He likes to have this next to him. He likes to eat these things. These are the things that will calm him down. And of course, he's in the ICU, so they were limited with what they could do, but they did enough to settle him. And throughout his care, they would reach out to the sister anytime they needed help getting through to him and helping him understand what was going on. And one day they were trying to get a hold of the sister. They couldn't get a hold of her. And for several days, they called and called. They couldn't get a hold of the sister. And then they eventually got a call back from another sibling that said, the reason you haven't heard from her is because my sister has passed. Man, they never said what happened to the mom. But here this young man who his lifetime caregiver was his sister. And then she's gone. He recovered from coronavirus. He got sent out from ICU, from the hospital. He got sent to a rehab center. But he has nothing to go home to. And he cannot take care of himself. This is what these doctors are dealing with. All of this was in Detroit, Michigan, where the numbers are astronomically high, and the numbers are primarily African Americans that are suffering and dying from coronavirus. He has nothing to go home to. And then there's an uplifting story of a woman who came in distress, had to be intubated. She was very far along pregnant, very far along, had to be intubated. She was intubated for 7 days. They took her off of they unintubated her, they extubated her. This American Life, Suli, is This American Life. It was the story that published yesterday. I think it's called Reprieve. I think the story, but it published yesterday, so it'll be available all week long. It's both saddening, but then uplifting. You have a woman who comes in very pregnant, intubated for 7 days. They extubate her, and within 2 hours of extubating her, they could tell that she needed to be back on oxygen, or she needed to be intubated again. She was having a difficult time breathing still, and they wanted to re-intubate her. And she's like, no. I don't want that tube back in me. I don't want that. Give me time. You've only taken the tube out an hour ago. Give me time to let my body adjust. 2 days later, this woman delivered her baby. Vaginal delivery, 2 days later. 2 days after being extubated, still suffering from coronavirus, she delivers a baby vaginally. The baby's healthy. She was not able, the baby was healthy. They took the baby out of the room. She was not able to see the baby for 3 days. And then now they're all home and they're good. So there are good stories out of it, but that's not the norm. These nurses and doctors are saying that at this point, it's so gloomy. Every single ICU bed is taken up with a coronavirus patient. And then you have these fools out in the street talking about this is a conspiracy. I am not getting ready to wear a mask. You have these people who refuse to wear a mask to go into the grocery store. In Florida, the numbers, they've seen record increases in numbers over the past couple of days with people who are going back to the bars, no social distancing, no masks, no nothing. What is it? I think there was I can't remember what state it was in, another state where there were people flocked to the river to hang out at the river for whatever day. I don't remember, just recently though. Steve says C-19 is revealing selfishness along with the other prevalent social sicknesses we encounter daily. Right? Get your cousins, man. Right, Steve, right. That's what's so sad. I read someone else's joke on Facebook that says, what do Europeans call a Karen? And the answer, somebody answered, American. They're the Americans. That's what we the most powerful country, the dumbest F's out there, dumbest. Oh, we are so hell bent on our individual freedoms that we will kill everybody here because we don't want to wear a mask. Like the pastor who insisted his flock conspired of COVID-19 because God would protect them. He then died from, you know what, Mom? But okay, I'm going to leave that alone because I think that there was a pastor who died of COVID, but he did actually social distance. He insisted that everybody still come to worship, but it comes out that they actually, I mean, it's still, six in one hand, half dozen in another is what you would say, right? They still all were in an enclosed space, but they sat 6 feet apart from each other, whatever. But he ended up passing away. Steve said, bottom line, if you truly care about someone, stay away from them. Right. And that's so hard to do. So I'm going to end on this because yesterday we were talking about coming back to the table and how important it is to come back to the table, right? We spent all this time and then here came dinner time and I was like, oh yeah, we're supposed to eat dinner at the table. I cleared off all the candle making stuff and I cleared it off of the table, set the table. And my son looked at me like, what are you doing? Set the table, babe. We're setting the table. You get the dinner ready. I'm setting the table. So because the food was already ready, right? So we set the food out on the plate, on the table on serving dishes. And then we come to the table and we're sitting there. And at first he's kind of frustrated, like, Mom, well, I got to put my napkin in my lap and my elbows off the table and stop smacking my food. And I can't cut it all up at one time. Nope, cut one piece at a time. Son, this is how we're going to eat from now on. He's like, oh, come on, lady. By the end of that dinner time, my son was in tears, crying, frustrated, upset. I'm so tired of this. I'm just tired. And we sat and we had a real conversation. I want to go back to California, Mom. I hate it here. And we had a real conversation about why we left California and whether we would go back and what that really looks like. And I'm so sick of this, Mom. And when is it going to be over? I don't know, babe. I don't know. But I tremendously valued the fact that I forced us to sit at the table. And he is not one who wants to talk on a regular basis. Not about anything real anyway. I mean, he'll be goofy as hell, but he's not going to really dig into his feelings. I don't want to talk to you about it, Mom. I don't want to talk to you about it. But he talked to me about it at the table. And he went to bed feeling good. He went to bed feeling heard and understood And I didn't belittle his feelings. I said, you know what? We are all there at some point in the day, at some point in the week. We are all there. We are all tired, babe. We are all tired of being in the house. We are all tired of wearing masks. We are all tired of not being able to be involved in the activities that we would normally be involved in. We are all tired of it. I know that I have my moments. I have my moments where I'm lifted and I have my moments where I'm down. And I had to let him know I am there with you. I am equally as frustrated. It's a hard thing that we're dealing with. And it's a selfish thing to deal with it the way that some people are dealing with it, which is not really dealing with it, right? It is a very selfish thing. And there are way too many people dying. And the numbers are coming back up, and we haven't even hit the true second wave. We haven't really hit it. We're doing great out here where I am. We're slowly opening back up. But it is scary because there's no restrictions on travel in and out of this state. Elaine, he said, does he understand that it is in California as well? He does get that it's in California, but he misses his brother and sister. And at least if he were there, he would see his brother and sister. And, you know, we were supposed to be going to California this summer so he can visit his family, his brother and sister. So, and I had to remind that boy, y'all didn't get along when y'all lived in the same house. You miss them because you're not living with them all day, every day. But when you live together, y'all could stand each other. Don't forget that. So that's why at the end of the conversation, he felt good. He was reminded that, okay, let's not harp on what we can't do. Embrace what it is that we can do. These connections that we're having with each other, we're making new connections. And I told him, you play with your friends every day on your video games. If you were in California, you'd be doing the same thing. You wouldn't be seeing your friends. You'd still only be playing with them on video games. It's a lot that we're dealing with. And all I can say as I end today is get your cousins. If you don't laugh about it sometimes, you'll just be crying about it all day long, every day. You'll just be crying about it. So this is what I want to say. Like me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to me on YouTube right here. See, I'm talking to YouTube now. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure that you follow and subscribe on YouTube. I'm moving my talks. Eventually, I will not be here on Facebook Live anymore. It's a little bit cumbersome to look back and forth. I'm getting tired of that. So get over to YouTube. Follow on YouTube. Comment on YouTube. Share my post. Share this feed. Share the YouTube. Share the post. Share, like and share. Sharing is caring. And I will see you here tomorrow. Please, please, please stay safe. Thank you so much for coming to my table every day. Thank you for pouring into us at this table. Thank you for sharing in these frustrations, understanding, and talking through them. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you at this table. Steve says, use this time to enjoy the art of communication and listening. Yep, that's what we're focusing on, Steve. And crafting. We need Suli to come talk to us about Suli and Pam to get on here with the crafting. That was some beautiful craft work that they were doing yesterday. Anyway, like, share, follow. I will see you here tomorrow. Same time, 7, 9, and 10. 7, 9, and 10. 7, 9, and 10. I will see you here tomorrow. I had to